The latest, Arizona reports more deaths, fewer virus cases. Phoenix, Arizona reported more than 100 daily coronavirus deaths for the second time since February. The 108 confirmed deaths and 2,742 new coronavirus cases were reported Saturday. Hospitalizations dropped below 2,000 for the first time in nearly 3 weeks, with 1981 COVID-19 patients occupying hospital beds on Friday. That's down from the current surge's high of 2,103 on September 11. Meanwhile, Johns Hopkins University data showed drops in the 7-day rolling averages of daily cases and deaths in the past 2 weeks. The daily cases dropped from 3,152 on September 2 to 2,732 on Thursday. The daily deaths dropped from 39 to 33 during the same period. Phoenix officials say the city's 2 mobile COVID-19 vans and other city testing locations will begin offering vaccines. The city will use federal pandemic relief money to pay for adding vaccinations to the testing program. Arizona has reported a total of 1.06 million confirmed cases and 19,487 confirmed deaths since the start of the pandemic.
Schools without mask mandate get brunt of latest virus wave in South Carolina. Florida's daily coronavirus cases dropped from last month. using honor system to check vaccinations for New York meeting. Nonprofit started by Sean Penn aids Georgia vaccine drive. Italy is reporting up to a 40% increase in the number of people getting a first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine following a government decree requiring a health pass for all workers, public and private, starting October 15. The Office of Italy's coronavirus czar says there's been a 35% one-week rise in first doses compared to last Saturday. Italian regions nationwide reported upticks of 20% to 40% for appointments this week to get the shot. On Thursday, Italy became the first major European economy to require all workers to present a green pass to work next month. It requires proof of vaccination, a recent negative test, or contracting the virus in the past 6 months. Health Minister Roberto Speranza says the requirement is aimed at boosting the vaccine campaign while creating safer workplaces. Italy, once the epicenter of the outbreak in Europe, has fully inoculated 75% of its population ages 12 and older. Italy has reported more than 130,000 confirmed deaths, the third highest toll in Europe after Britain and Russia. Orlando, Florida reported 11,275 new daily cases on Friday, about half the number from last month. Florida was averaging more than 21,000 cases a day in August. Epidemiologists say the state's rates of vaccination has outpaced the national average, but it hasn't been enough to keep the highly contagious Delta variant at bay because of Florida's large elderly population and low vaccination rates among younger groups. Advent Health's Central Florida division says the number of COVID-19 patients at its hospital stands at 850 people, several hundred patients fewer than the summer. Florida has reported nearly 3.5 million confirmed cases and 51,240 confirmed deaths. Sacramento, California, 2 of Governor Gavin Newsom's children have tested positive for the coronavirus. A statement issued Friday says Newsom, his wife, and 2 other children have since tested negative for the virus. All 4 of the governor's children are under 12, the age when children can be vaccinated. The Newsoms continue to support masking for unvaccinated individuals, endorsed to stop the spread and advocate for vaccinations as the most effective way to end this pandemic, said a statement from Erin Mellon, spokesperson in the governor's office. The announcement comes only days after Newsom handily defeated an effort to recall him, partly driven by the impact of the pandemic. United Nations, the UN General Assembly is relying on a vaccine honor system for world leaders before they speak at next week's meeting. Presidents, premiers, monarchs, and other dignitaries won't have to show vaccination cards or other proof of inoculation. Assembly President Abdullah Shahid says they'll simply attest to being vaccinated by swiping their ID badges. The UN has been wrestling with how to implement a New York City vaccination requirement for convention centers. Russia has criticized the policy, and the first scheduled speaker, Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro, says he doesn't plan to get vaccinated anytime soon. He contracted the coronavirus in July 2020. Shahid told members earlier this week he supported the New York City policy but didn't give details on how it would work. Shahid, A 59-year-old Maldivian was elected president of the UN General Assembly in June. Next week, more than 100 heads of state and government and over 20 foreign ministers have signed up to speak in person. Other nations are participating by video for the speeches, where leaders discuss global issues, spotlight domestic ones, and use the world stage to court allies or assail foes. The coronavirus pandemic forced the Assembly's top-level annual meeting to go mostly virtual last year. Atlanta, a disaster relief organization founded by actor Sean Penn, is helping Georgia's drive to vaccinate people against the coronavirus. CORE, or Community Organized Relief Effort, has offered vaccines at hundreds of pop-up clinics around the state, including schools, farmers markets, and meat plants. Only 46% of the state is fully vaccinated, well below the national average of 54%. It's a big factor in Georgia's nearly 3-month surge in COVID infections and hospitalizations. CORE offers vaccines for free. Funding for community outreach comes from a foundation backed by the billionaire owner of the Atlanta Falcons, Arthur Blank, and the Community Foundation for Greater Atlanta. The group plans to spend more time offering vaccines to employees at work sites, where turnout is better, said Margaret Harrod, CORE's Georgia director. CORE is also offering vaccines in Washington, D.C., Oakland, California, New Orleans, Chicago, Los Angeles, and a county in North Carolina. Penn started the organization in 2010 after a catastrophic earthquake killed thousands in Haiti. Columbia, SC, South Carolina is setting records for COVID-19 hospitalizations, and new cases are approaching the peak levels of last winter. Since ending South Carolina's state of emergency on June 7, Republican Governor Henry McMaster has maintained that parents alone should decide if children wear masks in schools, even as the state's new cases soared from 150 a day on average to more than 5,000. Now teachers, students, and parents are struggling with the fallout as more young people contract the Delta variant, forcing nearly 24 schools and 2 entire districts back to online learning within a month of returning in person.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.